Hello guys, it's Unders. Today we are back looking at UAD's SSL G Bus compressor.
Round 2, fight.
And we are doing that because there is a healthy update for it. If these sorts of videos are helpful for you, please pop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below and all of that fun stuff. It does help me out massively in creating more content for you guys. Now essentially what UAD have done here is updated the plugin, and they say they've redesigned it from an end-to-end perspective. So we're going to compare the two and sort of hear the differences and see. Now quite obviously there is a difference in the GUI. What UAD have added is a couple of the more modern features found on the more modern consoles and found in most of the plugin variations that are available. If you want to see those other plugin variations, I did a video comparing all the ones that I could get to work within Logic, and we can have a look at the ABs in those. I should link it up there very shortly. Now what they've introduced here are these three options below where it says stereo compressor here. And we've got a sidechain filter. What this does is stop the low-end material from triggering the compressor. So your kick drum, bass, sub sounds are all going to be much louder in a mix due to the way we hear. We need them to be louder to be able to perceive them. And as such, they will generally be the things that trigger a compressor. If we don't want that to happen, we can use the sidechain and roll that along so that those low frequency sounds do not trigger the compressor. We've then got headroom here. Headroom is only really found on some of the third-party SSL bus compressors and the individual rack units. What it allows you to do is have a hotter signal go into the compressor before it triggers, or have it so it triggers with much lower material. For example, if you're working with an orchestra, something that's very dynamic, you wouldn't necessarily have the compressor triggering a lot, but if you needed that sound to be compressed and it's quite a low level sound, something the threshold maybe wouldn't reach, you can then adjust the headroom. Then we've got the mix knob. Okay, the mix knob allows us to do parallel compression nice and easy and is becoming a staple in most modern plugins. So if we were to bring that right round to 50, we've instantly got parallel compression. We can then take it off and then put it 100% for fully on, allowing us to automate different parts and bring the bus compressor in and out of the mix really easily and effectively without it being obvious. We can slowly bring it into a mix. It's really useful. I've matched these two as much as possible. You will definitely note that the thresholds are very different. That is due to this headroom adjustment that is in here. The best and closest balance I could get was having plus 15 on the new one and just past 0 on the legacy version. Due to the way this headroom adjustment works, it changes quite drastically, so I've got it dead in the middle straight up here, and that was the best balance that I could find. Now I've got the top one here loaded with the legacy version, the one below loaded with the new version, as well as the gain plugin from Logic, which has got the left and right channels inverted. So if we bypass both of the G Bus plugins and press play, we should just get silence. So that is completely phase cancelled there, so we don't hear anything at all, and that's the best way to compare two things. So we can put these back on now. The track I'm using is a track from my album. It is the pre-master, so it peaks about -4 decibel I believe, and it's aiming for around the -6 marker overall. We've just taken a little chunk, a few bars of it here to play over. So if we have these both play together now, I've got them cancelling as much as possible. I couldn't get them to fully, completely phase cancel. So there is definitely some difference happening between the two plugins. However, it is very, very close, as I will demonstrate now. So they're almost entirely phase cancelling each other here. And if we adjust the threshold ever so slightly on the legacy version here, we can here have the tiniest movement skews it. And there are some points here where it is completely cancelling. Okay, so there are some differences in the plugin and how it's behaving, but they are also very, very similar. Now, when we compare the two, for which I'm going to solo the legacy version, and then we're going to swap to the newer version here. So we're going left to right in terms of listening here. Bear in mind, this is going to be a lot louder than it just was. Amazing. So what I hear difference wise is a little bit more high-end detail in the newer version of the plugin. It sounds a little bit cleaner, a little bit newer, a bit more modern, if you will. Whereas the legacy version, it feels like a bit more of that vintage sound, a bit more what, to be honest, I associate that G Bus compressor sound to be doing. Where it's most clear for me are sort of the plosives and impact sounds in the vocals. I don't know if you want to have a quick listen back to those. That's where I can hear the main difference. Personally, you might be hearing something different, but that's where I can hear it if you have a listen. So it's super subtle, but it seems to bring a little bit more clarity into that area of the mix. And it's a nice thing. To be honest, they're both really nice sounding. So guys, that is it really. We've got a nice little comparison there between the old and the new. And they're both really nice sounding. If you own the old one, there's an upgrade. If you owned the old one, there is an upgrade option. And if you don't, you actually get the legacy version when you purchase the new one. So you get two nice, slightly different sounding G Bus compressors there. If you guys are UAD users, you're able to go and grab the demo now. That is what I'm doing, and it seems to be well worth it. It's a good little plugin to play around with. Guys, I hope the video was helpful for you. I shall catch you on the next one. Bye-bye now.